Hello. We finally made it.
Hello. We're always late, but we're always get there eventually, don't we?
We do. So, hope everyone's okay.
Yeah,
How are we doing after um, yesterday's Q&A?
yeah. Um, it's really interesting. I thought. Big ups to Luke. Again, he broke the ice. He did
Jen,
another
you got really
video.
quiet now.
Am I quiet?
Yeah, but that's better. That's better. I like that.
Am I okay? Right, I'll say as I am. I'm just trying to find ways to go and produce where I can actually hear you and be heard and not sound like a robot. And it's because my phone sometimes goes a bit robotic as well.
Yeah, no, you sound fine at the moment.
That's good. I'll just stay still
Hmm?
then.
You can't hear Jenny. You need to talk louder then, Jen.
I need to go louder.
Yeah,
Oh.
just have the
my
mic next to your
daughters,
mouth.
my daughters are gonna be like, "Shut up, ma."
Yeah, let's say they can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
Right, I'll just have to hold on to it. At least you can't see what I look like. I just sort of dangling this in front of my face.
Yeah.
oh,
So yeah,
the
so
joys.
yesterday's live Q&A. Um,
Yeah.
what did
So, what did
everyone
everyone
else
think?
make of it? Hi Shelley. Hi Brumfix. Fixon. Hope you're all okay. Yeah, it was interesting. You know, Luke done well. Um, Obviously, personally for like myself, a lot of the questions were, I don't know. It's like I already knew, like we already knew them. So some of them was a bit pointless, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I found that as well. Some of them has already been asked and answered in other
Yeah, there could
videos.
have been a lot more useful questions in there in my eyes. But, you know, big up for Peter for doing this. You know, we do appreciate what he's done and coming out with it.
Yeah, well, I like really appreciate his honesty. To be honest, he could have kept it all quiet like they usually do. People in his situation, but he's actually thought enough of the public to actually come out and tell us what happened, and I respect him so much for doing that.
Yeah, you know, he's had to keep it in until the College of Policing report come out. And then, yeah, then having to come out with that, which has obviously um, caused a lot of people questioning it, um, which isn't nice. But I can understand why they're questioning it as well at the same time, because obviously the way he was talking um, after he had finished his search for Nikki and things like that, saying like I could categorically say that she wasn't in the water.
Yeah, it- that was a big contradiction. I think he had to really explain because his polar shifted from saying I can categorically confirm that she wasn't in the river, to saying I found her and she was in the river.
Yeah,
So he had to explain it really.
yeah. So that
Um,
was good in that way that he managed to come on the live last night and explain why he he couldn't come out with it until the College of Policing report would come out. I just hope that you know people now will listen and take that on board why he couldn't do it. Yeah, Jen, they're still saying you're very quiet.
too quiet, right? Just bear with me a second. Oh, every time. This phone. Right,
It
I'm
used to
have
be
to.
me, but it's not no more, is it?
It's yeah, it's my turn now. I'm just having a space bar look.
But yeah,
I'm back.
so obviously, while Jen's sorting her sound out, we've um, we've been going over the process of like PC Thackeray's dive and what Peter has said in the Q&A last night. Um, so obviously, if you can remember that reconstruction that PC Thackeray had done, he he was saying, well, basically making out that Nikki would have floated on top of the water and would have been by the weir very quickly, like within 5 to 10 minutes. So that for me, for someone, he says that he's 8 years experience as a police diver. It doesn't take rocket science to work out that a drowning victim does not float. It's always sinks to the bottom. So obviously, to with what Peter said yesterday, we've pulled up Professor Caroline Roberts's I can't think what she is called now. Sorry, my brain's dead after today. Yeah, we pulled her up of what she says a drowning victim would do. So let me just share this with you. Share screen. Right. So let's play this quickly.
Understand a little bit about what happens when a body enters the water. Now here you can see here, this is I'm very grateful to the Institution of Environmental Sciences for drawing me these diagrams, but here you can see a body entering the water, and it's going to go down through the depth of the water, which can be any kind of depth. Bubbles are going to come off it. It's going to sink to the bottom, at least initially, and it's going to end up a little bit further along the river from when it went in because of the shape and the clothing and the density of the body. So it's going to end up probably on the bed of the stream. There's the obligatory shopping trolley, of course. And then it's going to start to decay. And the rate of decay of the body is going to be affected by the temperature and the size of the body, and it's going to generate a volume of gas in the body, now particularly in the torso, not anywhere else in particular, but in the main chest or abdominal cavity of the body, because those are where there are voids. But at least initially it's going to sink to the bottom of the stream. And the rate at which that decay takes place is quite variable, but this is the sort of time we're talking about. So first of all, what we get is something called washerwoman's fingers after a few hours in cold water. These are timescales typical for the UK. If we were in the tropics or the sea, it would be much faster. But we get some decay within a few days. It starts to look a bit older within about a week, and then within a couple of weeks, it's starting to get seriously deteriorated, and then we hit this bloat, what the analysts call bloat, where we've got gas formation in the abdomen and thorax, and that's a variable amount of time. And then finally, after some weeks, months, depends on the temperature, the thing will become a skeleton, will start to fall apart. So this is a bit grisly, I know, but you have to understand that because that's what's going to influence what happens to the body when it goes into the river. Now, I want to look at an example where bloat.
So yeah, so she basically there has confirmed that a body would always sink. It would never float. So yeah, he's this police diver saying that she would have floated towards the weir before sinking. It's rubbish. So it's surprising that um, that the coroner even accepted that. Yeah, I've seen that, Funky. Oh, Jen's back. Hello.
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, back to the good old phone way again.
Yeah. So I've
Oh,
just I don't know if you saw, I just played Caroline Roberts doing the talk about what would happen to a victim when they drown. So it's just
cold
basically
water shock.
no, just to confirm what Peter said, that a body would sink straight away rather than what the PC done in his dive video, saying that Nikki would have floated down the river first before.
Oh, rather than a speedboat,
Yeah,
like attaching to your back, and then you suddenly go at like 300 miles an hour across the weir, and
yeah,
and you're at sea at like, and then into like the solar system in 2 minutes flat.
yes.
Thackeray was
So
telling us.
yeah, so Thackeray's he's got 8 years experience as a police diver. So for that, a police diver that has got 8 years experience has basically tried to put across that Nikki floated down the river. It's just crazy.
Yeah,
Everyone's
it's
it's perfect now, Jen. They can hear you better.
yay. I'm sorry about that. I thought I'll try and use some earphones, because sometimes I do sound a bit crackly when I go off my phone, but no, it didn't work. Oh, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
go off the phone from now on. It's easier.
yeah,
But yeah, I think Zachary has really embarrassed himself, because all the police divers out there know that's not what happens to people when they drown.
yeah,
The way he described it and the way he filmed it, and the fact that he even, went in the water on his own to film it, he just looks like an idiot.
yeah. Is there any questions from you guys in chat that you felt that could have been asked last night that wasn't asked? Yeah, it's only because I found some of the questions last night. Ones they've, like you said, Jen, they've already been answered in other lives that he's done.
Yeah,
Oh,
because that's
Maria,
like the
yes, that
third.
was very infuriating. Listening to him at the inquest was infuriating. Yes, it winds us up every time. Um, yeah, so some of the questions they've already been answered, and some of the questions Peter couldn't even answer. It wasn't down to him, like how much water um, a lungs would take or body would take when drowning. So yeah, you still there, Jen?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just thinking about what Peter was saying as well. Last time we were talking, we were saying that Nikki, we were referring to Mind Juice, weren't we? And that
yeah,
Nikki was found apparently upright as well. You spoke to Peter this week, didn't you?
I
And
did.
asked you about that.
Yes. Obviously, it's not. Um, there's no science to it. It can happen that way. A body can float with the legs underneath and the head upright. Um, yeah, there's just no science to it. Some bodies will float like that. Some bodies will float like you expect them to float. I suppose it all depends on uh, what someone's wearing. You've got to think Nikki had jeans on. She had this big coat on. She had wellies on. I know she was found with one welly missing. Um, but the wellies, they're going to hold quite a bit of water inside of them as well. So even though it's been said that she was head first with feet underneath, it doesn't mean that she was right in a vertical position. She could have just been, the feet were dragging lower than the head was.
Yeah, so it's not impossible for that to happen. It's not unheard of.
No.
It's one of those maybe an anomaly where it happens now and again, not all the time, not a common thing, but it does happen. It can happen. Because we thought we'd better check that with Peter. You know, he's the best person to verify that with, and then he confirms that yeah, it can happen.
Shelley Sanford, my daughter of 13 years plus, passed away on Monday. I've been a mess and I'm trying to keep my best to keep it together. I'm so sorry to hear that, Shelley.
Shelley, that
was
is
a German
absolutely...
Shepherd, but to me it was my daughter. I can relate to that. When my dog passed away,
it's so sad.
He was my best friend, and
oh,
right, Jen, give me 2 seconds. I've lost my book. I put it down.
Oh, no problem. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was I thought it was good on Peter, like, you know, facing the public and doing a question and answer for him like that. Even if some of the questions had already been asked or answered before. There were a lot of really good questions that came up in the chat, and I wish that Luke had maybe had a look in the chat, you know, at some of the questions just in case something came up, because there were some corkers in there. So maybe Luke will go through and have a look and see what came up there, because there's still a lot of things I still don't understand about what happens.
Yeah, the main thing, not one of the main things, well, one of the main things I wanted confirmed was the fetal position, because when we hear fetal position, you think of, you know, your knees are right up against your chest, you're kind of laying there tucked up like a little baby. So I'm glad that one kind of got talked about, because even though it's called fetal position for the experts and things like that, it's not your knees tucked right up. So it's just basically when you're laying in bed with your knees slightly bent.
Yeah, that's it. It's general, you know, description that divers would use, but it means something different to us lay people again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, to us it means, like, you know, how a baby would be lay.
Yeah.
But
But
I think it's really interesting that Peter went through how sonar works and how the different pieces of equipment worked as well. Was it the thing that goes at the end of the boat? There's the fish tail or something.
Oh yeah, the sonar. Yeah.
On the sonar, there's the part of the back, and it really explains in a lot of detail. You know how I thought they'd be able to pinpoint the area to quite a small area, but apparently not. You know, apparently it's quite a wide area still.
Yeah, it was. I think I wrote it down. 7 meters by 7, or 6 meters by 6 meters either side.
So that's still quite a good, like, square area.
Yeah, so you've still got quite a big area to still search by that point, haven't you? Which,
that's right.
To me, kind of explains with when Peter obviously found the target and he could not put a pinpoint, like he drops his pin into the water, so you've got a location that you have to search around. So he couldn't do that because obviously all the press were stood around, so he didn't want to draw attention to it. So and
he really set the scene for us, didn't he? What it was really like for him, you know, when he was there.
And it was interesting as well that he said that when the police divers went in to search that area where he found the target, they was in there 2 minutes. They wasn't in there very long at all. So to me, that explains why, if like, so when you've got this 6 meter or 6 meter each side, so the diameter that they have to search, if the police were in there 2 minutes, no wonder why they didn't find nothing.
Yeah, that's right. Because especially if they're searching, doing a fingertip search as
Yeah.
well. It's going to take them a while to go around, and
Yeah.
they're going to have to go down on the bottom of the river, and then like find any sidings as well, and that takes time, doesn't it? So it just sounds to me like the police heard what he said
Yeah.
and didn't really thoroughly search properly. Maybe they were affected by the same issues as what Peter and his team were faced with, where the press were being a hindrance.
Yeah. And then you've got
But
in
that's not
PC
Peter's fault.
Factory.
That's the police are supposed to have a liaison,
Yeah.
a press liaison
Press
person.
officer there. And they're meant
Yeah,
to have a a special area. That's where all the press are meant to go. But there was nothing. So the press were basically on a free run. And when
they
the
were like
press are on
chasing
a
him
free
down.
run, they are going to be right on that riverbank. It's surprising that half of them weren't in the river, because that's what they're paid to do. To try, they're the ones that want to get the story. They're the ones that want to get it first.
That's
So,
yeah, but because that's their job, isn't it? At the end
yeah,
of the day, it's like they're there, and there's a handful of other outlets there, and it's the one that gets the story published the first. It's the rat race, isn't it?
yeah.
To try and get
We
the
was,
first one out there with it, the
yeah,
story.
when he said how big of the area that they still have to cover once they found a target. To us, we actually thought, right, I found a target, drop the pin in the altar where where the target's going to be, and they know whereabouts it is. But it's, they, like he was saying, they still have to go up and down the river. And from the inquest just in June, PC Thackeray, he was saying that visibility on the bottom of the riverbed was 1 meter to 2 meters clear. So you've got 1 meter to 2 meter clear. So you think he's saying that he goes down, oh, I can see 1 meter to 2 meters in front of me. Quick, go down to where Peter said, have a quick spin around. Yeah, nothing's there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen, we haven't
But
done our
he says though a lot of the time they don't even bother with torches down there because it is fingertip searching, and it's they must the police can't have listened to him and searched where he told them and done a thorough search.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they haven't. Maybe they haven't. They just didn't want to give him the credit for finding Nikki.
Yeah. Before I forget, Jen, our disclaimer. So anything we discuss in our live, obviously, it's our views.
Yeah, there are opinions.
Yeah.
It's for entertainment purposes only. So just it's our opinion, so take it with a pinch of salt and a heap full of common sense. And I can't even speak today because my nose is so blocked. I've still got this blowing lurgy.
Oh, I'm kind of glad mine hasn't come out at the moment. It keeps trying, but
oh God,
yes,
I've got to go through it. I've got to go and have an X-ray on my lungs.
Oh, was you?
Yeah.
Blimey.
No, I had a phone call. He said he's going to refer us. So just waiting on that sorting itself out. It'll probably be better by the time that comes up now.
Yeah. Sorry to say, but I saw here really tried to change people's opinions. Who's trying to change people's opinions, Funky? Sorry, I must have missed a bit of the chat. Are you talking about someone else is live right now? I don't want to say her name because I know Jenny will start.
I saw.
Yeah, I
Really
think you're
changed
talking about your favourite person.
the person I was ranting about earlier
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
Not the person that likes a wee and a cup of tea. That person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm laughing, I'm
Oh,
chuckling away here, but I have to because
sorry,
this is
I
just
didn't joke. I will.
it. You have to be with this because it's so horrible. You know, we have to try and lighten the mood a little bit because it's the only way we can get through it. So apologise if anyone's offended by it. We do try to, you know, control ourselves a little bit. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? You know, like where you know, certain people have certain opinions, and you know, they might be a bit hypocritical. You know, and they might say like, oh, we don't like to mention other creators' names on our channel, and then they do anyway and stuff. They like to record other creators' work.
yeah, we have some
Um,
information to share with you at the end of this live. Um, yeah, which she's not going to like. So
yeah,
stick with us because we have got some information to share with you. And
yeah.
it
Oh, we've
will
been
show
sitting on
you,
this for ages as
I know,
well. It's devastating. It's just to be
and
able to
it
like
will show
say it.
you all, you know, that we are here for the truth. So
Yeah,
stick with us. Um,
it just
so
gives an insight into what we've been doing in the
yeah,
background for the past few months.
and I don't think anyone else has got it yet either. So yeah. Do you disagree that a body would float over the weir after 23 days? This is one of the questions that I thought seriously because, you know, when a body floats, it is going to go over the weir. It's more of the fact that when she floated over the weir, you know, when she rose, if the water was high enough, she would have gone over. But it's the fact that she never got seen in my eyes. Um, you know, she'd managed to get
Yeah,
over the weir and float all under the bridge on that busy main road, as Lancashire police like to say how busy it was. So, and then all along to her resting place, bless her. I just can't get. I know
especially
it's
when
just a
people were
coincidence.
actually looking for it as well.
Yeah,
It's, you know, look at the numbers of members of the public, um, the, you know, the whole of that area, who like all the people that live there were all, you know, looking for her and going out for like walks and trying to find her. So to think she's, you know, gone all that way and never got seen,
yeah,
I
and
find that hard to.
yeah, you know, like Peter did say that day, we all have seen it. That the river did rise because it was the first high tide since she'd gone missing. So that day that she got found, the river had rose enough to flow over that, flow over the, not over the weir, but to lift the water up by the weir so she could have got over it. But it's just more of the fact that it's just a coincidence. I'm sitting here like doing that with my the bunny ears with my fingers because I think you can see me. It's a coincidence that it happened at night.
Yeah, I don't fully understand how they know it can be at night that would have happened, because I
Yeah,
just thought that would have taken longer than it was. But then I suppose they say this the moon makes the water level rise because
yeah,
of there's a the moon, it has got a magnetic effect on water, so it make, like, you know, that's why during a full moon you get higher river waters and things,
yes. No,
because the
exactly.
water's attracted to the moon and it kind of bulges up. I'll try and find an animation of that happening if anyone's interested. It is quite interesting. It explains it. Sometimes it's better to see it happening.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah. It'd
I
be
still would have
interesting to
thought
go
somebody
there.
would have seen something.
yeah, it'd be interesting to go there and do one of those time lapses. So when the river and then when the tide comes in, of how high it rises. That would be really interesting to do.
Yeah, that's it. I don't understand. I said it the other day. Why they didn't actually put some cameras out on that stretch of water. Just in case a body did move, and they might have like not had a person, present to see it, but they could have picked it up on camera.
Yeah, but it's all money, isn't it?
It's not that dear though. Like, so literally deer cams are what,
Yeah, but you
maybe about
see,
50
like
quid.
like Peter said last night, that search that he had done for Nikki had already hit in the millions of pounds.
Yeah, but like deer cams, like that type of technology is so readily available now. It actually
Yeah,
would save a lot of time, in terms of like police officers' time, and then it would also, give them concrete like video footage to back themselves up, so there wouldn't be any doubts because they would have that footage there. But one thing that stood out to me was that Peter, what he's doing is he's doing R&D, research and development. So he is privately, dealing with companies in America, and he's bringing all these technologies like side penetrating radar over to the UK and testing it out. And it's too expensive for the police forces to buy, so therefore they're using specialist companies like Peter's to get involved in, complicated searches, and that's because Peter's invested his money from his company and specialising in this type of search and rescue,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah,
So he's doing all the research and development. I bet you Peter will tell you about, I bought this piece of equipment and that piece of equipment and it was rubbish and a right waste of money. And then equally he's bought some equipment which is been amazing, and it's really made his job a lot easier as well. And he's the one that's researching it all and dealing with companies in America and probably all around the world who are producing this type of technology. And this is why people need to give him credit, because he feels that maybe the police were a bit jealous of the fact that he's a private company and getting paid like private rates, but he's having to buy all this, all the stuff that he's got in his hangars, his helicopter and his ground penetrating radar, everything that he's got,
yeah. He's
that
got
costs a lot of
underwater
money, and
magnetic
he's
as well.
forever reinvesting and to make his job easier, and therefore he's helping out families who when they really need that help.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
yeah. I'd just like to say we're obviously more about the police here. We don't accuse the family um, or anyone like that. We don't believe.
I think at
It's
the
just,
end of the day, the
Yeah,
family and the friends have been through a horrendous time. Um, you know, they've had so much negative publicity
yeah.
from so many different angles. It's cruel what they've been through.
We don't like to speculate on that sort of thing because the family have gone through enough. We are here just to get the truth for Nikki, and we are giving you the truth and the facts. We don't like to speculate, so yeah, we like to keep the family out of this. Any accusations toward the family out of this chat. So yeah,
Yes,
lost my
Sarah,
train of thought.
Ruthie
Yeah,
Pioneer, the specialist equipment. This is what I've, because I that's what when I worked for 2 years for a research and development company. What one thing that always makes me laugh is we used to work with a company called Oxford Instruments. Now they did ultrasounds. You know, when you have a baby and you have your ultrasounds. It was actually Oxford Instruments. You know, the equipment they were using in the hospital when I was giving birth to my two lovelies. It had Oxford Instrument on it, so I'm high on gas and air, and I'm like, oh, I've been to Oxford Instruments, only they're in Bristol and not Oxford. And I'm chatting away, and you know, the midwives are like, we haven't had this conversation with anyone before. But it was just that's what I did. You know, that was my career for 2 years. A lot of it was like naval bases and military, and I had to sign non-disclosure agreements. Although I'm not a scientist and I can't say that I understood everything that I was shown, it went over my head, but I still had to sign it nonetheless. But and it's all right. It's been over the 5 years now, so I won't get arrested by the military or anything now for talking about anything. But it's but what Peter's doing is he a lot of the stuff that technologies he's using probably originates from the military as well.
Yeah.
That's how it gets built by the military, then it comes out and it gets repurposed in search and recovery and missing people.
The sonar equipments that the police have got are not as advanced as the equipment Peter's got. So the police forces around, they do have the sonars, but it's not as advanced. So even though they can find things, Peter's will show a lot more than what a police forces one will do, and it's a lot of money. And
the police might have like Mark 1 of the sonar, and then Peter's got the most modern version of it available. And you know, there's only, did you say there was only 10 actual search and recovery units in the whole of the UK now?
I think
so.
Yeah.
About 10. Because obviously the one he was working with in Lancashire, that was Lancashire, North Wales, Cheshire, and I think was it Greater Manchester as well.
Yeah.
Because what they tend to do is they all share.
Oh no, that was where the Northwest underwater, where PC Factory works for. That is who they cover. They cover Lancashire, they cover Manchester, they cover North Wales.
That's they kind of like share all their equipment. Because basically that's like one unit though, isn't it? And then they've probably got like others that are up in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then you know, they might have like some.
When Peter
South Wales probably got their own.
When Peter found the target, they was 3 hours away. So if they're 3 hours away, why not tell him just to dive it?
Yeah.
But no, they had to wait 3 hours for them to arrive, and then they spent 2 minutes in the water. No, she's not there. There was nothing.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really, you know. If I was leading an investigation, and I've said this loads of times before, if you got somebody who's a specialist like Peter Faulding in, you'd be like, if you think you found something, I'm going to let you lead as an expert this part of the inquiry. So if you think you found something, go and do what you need to do. You know, we'll work around you. It just goes to show how I'm just trying to think what the word is. Military, I suppose. Like, you know, it's like you will do as you are told and you will not question it. It's that ethos that you get in the military within the police force, and it's like if you've got common sense, they still don't listen to you.
Yeah. No,
You know,
exactly.
so he's found something and he's not allowed to say, or even though he's found that on and he understands his equipment and the data that, you know, what it's showing, he's the best person to die for it, but they won't let him. And that's just absolute bonkers. That
And
makes
they
no
made
sense
sure that as
whatsoever.
well, because when he arrived, they that's what one of the NDAs they made him sign, or the bit of
Yeah,
paper that they made him sign, was that he would not enter the water.
so he's allowed to scan, but
Yeah,
he's not allowed to
he was not
physically
allowed to dive it.
get his boots wet,
Yeah,
which is really shocking.
yeah,
Well, I'll say this. A couple of weeks ago, I had to go and assist on a missing person, and it was for a friend's son, and they'd waited what, like 10 or 11 days, and it was me being a bit slow, really. Didn't realise it was my friend's son that was missing, and then when I did, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna have to go out. And so bless me, I went out and I was full of the cold and all that. I thought, if anything happened to my kids, I know her and her family would go out and look for my kids, so I went out and looked for hers, and I got to see that they had the police divers were out and the drones were out, um, and his son was found in a reservoir of water. The police divers found him in the end,
yeah,
um, and they feel really bitter because like whereas Nicky's had a lot of publicity, um, their lads, he's not had anywhere near that amount. There was a couple of local newspapers put a little comment about it, but there was nothing in comparison. And they took so long before they really searched as well. They
yeah,
should have been out there a lot sooner. So Nicky had people out looking for her that day, and they literally had to wait. We had some bad weather and flooding and things at the time as well, but they had to wait 10 or 11 days, and then it was literally the day that I went out. I just had a funny feeling. I thought they're going to find him today, and they did.
sad, sad
But it's so
story.
good. I'm devastated. I can see how hurt my friend is. And she's a mum and it's her lads, and it's just devastating, really is.
Yeah,
And
that's something you just would never get over, would you?
no,
It's not meant to happen that way.
it's not. No, it's unnatural, isn't it? I said
Mm.
to her, I said, "There's, you've got a name for a a widow and an orphan, but a mother who loses the child, there isn't that. There's no word that in
Yeah. Or a dad,
existence.
that loses a child. There's just
Yeah, and a dad,
there's
yeah,
nothing.
parent,
Yeah,
full stop, isn't it? Because it's just not supposed to happen that way. And not like either other way should happen either. But no, I know she's really struggling with it at the moment. Um, and she knows I'll help her. Whatever way I can. If it comes down to putting a complaint in, or whatever she needs, I'll do.
yeah,
Because I do agree that he should have they should have looked for him a lot sooner than they did.
yeah.
And it's awful. But this sort of thing happens a lot, and I think the police need to have more. Like it needs to be. They
They
need
all
to put
want the
like a
same result
procedure.
at the end of the day, don't they?
Yeah,
They all want to find the missing person. Um, yeah, they want to find them alive, but at the end of the day, they just want to take home, um, give that person a resting place.
they need the closure, don't they?
Yeah,
If
and that's what I just
if
don't get
the
with
person's passed.
Lancashire Police being so adamant of not letting Peter die. They didn't want him there at the beginning. They made that very clear. Like Peter was saying, when he turned up, there was no one there to greet him, no one there to
Yeah, and he never even
let him
met
know what
Becky
he.
Smith.
Yeah,
She never even shows a face to Peter.
and that's what it's just crazy. The fact that they wasn't there to help him. Say, right, Peter, we've done this, we've done that. There was no briefing at all.
And
And
then them getting hounded by the press as well.
yeah,
The police are empowered to stem off the press away from an active search.
yeah,
And that they should have done that. It should have been an obvious thing for them to do.
yeah. And even when they went down to dive for that target, again, they still let the press in. The press was right up there watching them.
But they're taking the photographs with the long range cameras and stuff.
There
And
was a video that was posted on the 8th, so it must have been took on the 7th, right? The police were diving the location where Peter's found his target because it's the same area, and literally 2 feet away there was press there, right next to
it's
them.
just because I understand they've
Hi,
got their job
brutally
to
honest,
do, and
Mark.
I'm
Welcome.
not anti-journalists, but
Yeah,
they do need to step back, and the police need to control what happens. The police are the guys in control, and allow the divers who are putting their lives at risk doing their job. Let's face it, they're not just going for a walk around the field. They are going into waters at night, where visibility is bad, and they need to give the police divers that privacy, and that support, and keep the press away.
yeah,
I don't even understand why that was just allowed.
yeah.
That's
What
just
do people? What are people's opinions on the dogs not picking up a scent?
yeah.
So I can understand on the first couple of days
I love
because
that picture I
yeah,
used to when it,
no, I don't
um
even look like I've got any shorts on in that picture. Mind you,
oh.
it was a show. But
They
yeah,
did have shorts.
yeah, we did have shorts on. But
I just jumped out jealous. I see them and I was like, I
but
was like,
yeah,
oh no, it was so cool. Like, it was really, and Peter's just so nice, and he,
oh,
he,
he's a
he just
genuine
showed you
guy.
around and explained how everything worked, didn't he?
Yeah. So the dogs picking up a scent. Obviously, they're not gonna. They're trained to pick up decomposing body. So I can understand for the first few days of them not picking up a scent, but they were still out searching with the dogs after week 1. So why did this dog not pick up a scent? You said there, Jess.
Yeah, because really,
Oh,
the
quiet on
cadaver
me.
dogs should have
Yeah,
picked up a scent,
yeah,
because as the water bubbles come out of the um, yeah, as they start to pop, that gives off the scent to the dogs that there's been a brief, and that's what they're looking for, and that would usually alert the dogs.
yeah. That's what I can't get my head around the dogs not picking up a scent. I can understand, like I said, on day 1 to 2, 3, 4, but after that, there should have been some sort of scent that they could pick up.
Yeah, right. I was like surprised, because it looked from the photographs. I thought they only had like one dog, but I've seen about 3
Yeah, yeah,
pictures with dogs. So that they must have had like a diver dog. Some of them are trained in different scents, aren't they? So one of them would have tracked a scent of Nikki herself, and then the cadaver dogs, they're obviously trained in following a scent um of a dead body. So and I know they had a couple of those as well on scene. And they usually alternate them as well, don't they, in case one dog gets tired and
I
stuff.
was talking away to you and I was muted. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense, like why it didn't pick up a scent. So that was one of the questions that was asked last night, which, you know, turned out to be quite interesting because it explains
Yeah,
what a dog should be sniffing for. Just going through my paper that I wrote down.
yeah.
So
I,
no
I,
NDA
I,
was signed.
so, yeah, so
SGI
he
was
didn't actually
responsible for
sign
their
one,
own
did he?
risk assessment and safety, which they have anyway. They have all of that sort of stuff up. We've got this footage up of the area. I'm hoping when it pans round. See, you know this boat that's here at the moment? This is not SGI. This is the Lancashire Fire
What
Police.
fire brigade?
Fire brigade, yeah.
Yeah. The fire brigade were first on
Yeah.
in the water before the police diving team.
So if you can see, once this line disappears, you can see from this shot, it's not going to disappear, is it? You can see how shallow it is around the edges. You can see in the water, you can see the bank, you can see like the trees that's in the water there. So when I spoke to Peter the other day, so all around this side where it's shallow, there's like a little valley that's quite deep in the middle. So you've got shallows either side, and then there's like a valley. But look, even now, this is probably on the day that she went missing. They are still walking through that water.
Yeah, because they're like dragging a boat along a
Yeah.
little bit, aren't they, to stop it bottoming on
Yep.
the bottom of the river.
And it's still only waist deep, not even waist, thigh deep. But yeah, so on that target, there's so you've got shallow coming off
Obviously,
the
if you
bank.
had Thackeray there, you know, he'd be up to his neck going, "Oh, and I'm 6 foot tall and I'm drowned." Oh. And you see him in the shadow, and you see his head and shoulders above the water.
Yeah. So you can see how shallow it is around the edges here, yeah? And where the
Question:
little island is in the middle, which is a tree that's fallen into the river. So there's a valley that runs in the middle, that's the deep part of the river. And that's where the target was found.
Yeah. Question for everyone here. You know, say right, Zachary's video. First of all, do you think it was legit? I've made my personal opinion clear on it. And say if he had you know, basically made the river sound more ferocious than what it was. Do you think that should be made illegal, or is it illegal? Because isn't that like lying in court?
Well, he's sworn the oath to the king.
He's sworn that he's under oath, isn't he?
Yep. He's sworn that the whole truth that he what he's given is the whole truth.
On the king's life or whatever.
I can tell you what they say. I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give in this inquest on behalf of our sovereign Lord the King shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So he's sworn in, and then he's got a video which is misleading. Is that a fair word to describe it as?
Yeah.
Um,
Misleading, because at the end of the day,
because Peter seems to think, he's said in his opinion as well, Zachary's video isn't an accurate depiction of what he was faced in that river.
yeah. I do have the video here if everyone wants to watch it again. If you want to get mad. If you don't, say no.
Don't you dare!
Hi, Rachel. Hi, David. Yeah, so, but you could see, like, in that video how he was trying to make it look like he was floating down this river very quickly. So putting that into his evidence at the inquest, I would say, yeah, that is definitely it's not the truth.
Is it perjury? Is it when you lie under oath?
I think so.
Yeah. So he's.
What do you all think?
It just all came to me, and I just thought that that it's really bad. This is what the sort of thing that we're contending against for this case. And and then no wonder people are not trusting the police. When we've got them perjuring themselves in a coroner's inquest.
Yeah. So do you all agree? Should that be looked upon that he has broke the law? Because
Yeah.
Right, I'm just looking
I think
through.
I've got a few people agreeing. So it's just something that I was thinking about it a bit more deeply, and I thought that's really bad. He's supposed to be giving evidence and swearing it in, and he's clearly not stating the truth.
No, he's not.
If he wanted to make that truthful, he would have made sure he had camera footage from a load of different perspectives on the river, on the bends, lots of different perspectives, and then we could have seen for ourselves what the water looked like on him.
When Maria Solas put that video up of them doing that reconstruction in the water,
yes,
I was.
That was great. Is Maria in today? Did I see her in chat?
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey Maria, that was a really good video. Good call, girl.
Fantastic, because obviously that has helped a lot. So when I was trying to find a picture of Thackeray somewhere around out there, which it's been hard to find. There was one part at the bottom after he had gone over the weir, and he had gone up to the edge, and I think he was basically saying, "Oh, here I'm about it's chest height deep." But in the photo video that Maria's put up, it's not. He's literally just up to his hips. So he's been caught out there.
Yeah.
You'd have to have a look at that, because if you watch Maria's and then watch his reconstruction, there's a bit after he goes over the stones after the weir, and then he goes up towards that bank where they was all going into the river when they were searching, and he goes up towards the bank, and then he turns around to come back down towards the sandy bank on the opposite side, and he's going, yeah, the water here is about chest deep, or it's either chest deep or stomach deep. But when you look at Maria's video, when he's at the time it says actually at the same part, he's not actually that deep at all. and he's freaking 6
and they're trying to hump themselves over, aren't they? Over the weir.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'm sure somebody says, all right, 20 quid in it for the first person to get themselves over. They're all going for it, but they just can't do it.
Yeah. How deep was the water at the target? 2.5 to 3 meters deep, Peter has said.
So
Yeah,
it was
so that she
it's
was
an
obviously
average for that
in
time,
that
yeah.
valley that was the deeper part. So you had the shallows either side, and then you had the valley in the middle, and that was what was 2.5 to 3 meters deep. Which you're right.
Yeah, sorry.
Which compared to other rivers, I'm gonna cough now. Hold on.
Oh no.
He's passed it down the mic. Compared to
I
other
tried to
rivers.
hold the phone away from the mouth as much as I could, and then my daughter's going, "Are you alright?"
Hold on, I'm gonna try and Google how deep a normal like a river is. Shall I do the River Thames? Because that's a proper river, isn't it? So River
Yeah, so
Thames
the
at London Bridge, where the tides are measured at a depth of just 66 feet, 20 meters. That doesn't really compare to the deepest rivers in the world. And where Nikki was found was 2.5 to 3 meters deep. Says it all, really, doesn't it? Oh, Jen's gone. Where's Jen gone?
again.
Hello.
Can you
Did
hear
you hear?
me?
Yeah. Did you hear that? So the River Thames is
Uh,
66 feet. That's 20 meters deep.
Oh my God.
And where?
But it's crazy. You know, like you've got rivers like the Thames and the Dee and the Mersey um and then you've got that river which is I don't know, it's not really a river, is it? It's just
Yeah,
a stream.
it is like it is compared in comparison to like the River Thames. So
Yeah,
the River Ribble, ranging
yeah,
from shallow to
that's
deep
more
areas, can reach
ferocious.
up to 7 meters in places.
Because it like those rivers do widen up and they go as you get near the estuary, they go out onto the Irish Sea, don't they? And so
Yeah,
I know they can be, at parts, where they go towards the estuary, they can be a bit more ferocious there, but certainly in St. Michael's, that's a really lame river. We've seen it
right.
ourselves,
So
haven't we? As
how
well.
deep?
It's just,
So I put in right. How deep is the River Wire at St Michael's? The usual range of the River Wye at St Michael's is between 0.40 meters and 4.73 meters deep.
so not even 5 meters deep.
No,
So wow. It's just crazy, really, isn't it? And the way he was talking, Thackeray was talking when he was doing his evidence, made it sound like, far worse. But Peter's said himself, he really wasn't happy about that when he heard it.
yeah,
That was something that he's actually stated himself. But oh, can I tell him you guys spoke to Eddie, didn't you, this week as well?
yeah. We spoke to Eddie.
Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have a
he's a
quick chat as
star.
well tomorrow.
Yeah, we're having a team chat, aren't we, tomorrow with Eddie?
Yeah, so
We're all
we
chatting.
are trying to get him back.
It's just like it's difficult for like any lone YouTuber who's just running a channel on their own. It's difficult for them. And we're so lucky we've got our team, because we all have our moments, where we we might think, we've said something wrong or done something wrong, and it's so good to have a team behind you. And Eddie's he's just such a good laugh. He really, really genuinely cares about Nikki as well. But his background, he used to be a DJ, and he comes from an entertainment background, and he's got just such a unique talent. I just hope he comes back for his sake, really, because it's a loss.
David Beverson. Bad Fairy.
Poor
Maria
guy's
saw him
getting
sliding his
nagged.
arse over the weir. He never floated over. No, she said they couldn't float over. They tried. They was on their back trying to float over that weir and they couldn't do it. So that tells you something, doesn't it?
It's just why are the police lying about it though? That this is the whole thing, isn't it? They're making it, like it's going into the coroner's court and lying about it, and making that video and making it sound like things were a lot more, volatile than what they actually were. It's just crazy.
Oh yeah, the way he was making that river sound like it was.
God, I thought he was doing a Niagara Falls at one stage. I was like, oh my God.
I was surprised he didn't actually go underneath when he went down the weir to make him look like it was really deep. Yeah, so the digging in the woods comment on the College of Policing report. Where do we start with that?
Is that the picture that Peter was showing us yesterday?
So it wasn't digging, as you all saw yesterday with Peter's pictures. If you haven't seen it, pop over to Break the Ice with Luke and watch Peter's interview there. He has pictures of the area they accused him of digging. So one thing I can't get my head around with this, right? So he said he was there with a family friend. We know who this friend is. So why has this friend not spoke up for Peter and said he wasn't digging? Why, he's gone there free of charge to go and help find your friend. Why are you letting him continue to take this fall? Why are you not speaking up? I don't get this. This is what I really do not get. He's there free of charge. You've asked him to go and help look for the family member, the friend.
There just comes that line of decency where you stick up for somebody's got your back and they're trying to genuinely, out the kindness of their heart, help you, and then he's just been made out to be the fall guy.
Yep.
They were privy to everything. They would have seen a lot more than other people. They're in a great position where they can actually, stand up for him and say what happens.
Yeah. Hi, Shannon Louise. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. That when I heard that yesterday, my blood boiled. It really did. We could all. I'm not going to mention the person.
My blood pressure went that high. I had to go and have a wee.
Stop it. I'm in the zone. So yeah, that really did annoy me yesterday. I'm not going to mention who it was. I think you could all probably work it out, but for the love of God, just stick up for him. He's gone there free of charge. He's used, he spent his own money. He hasn't charged you, and you've all just tossed him to the curb. People deserve better than that.
Yeah.
Exactly, Bad Fairy. Start standing up. Open your eyes, for crying out loud. It really does.
It is. At the end of the day, you just have a bit of common courtesy, isn't it? If somebody's helping you,
Yeah,
just we're not asking anyone to tell lies, just asking
be
them to
honest.
tell the truth, you
Yeah,
know, and
you was
say what
there. You
happens.
see how Lancashire Police treated him. You could see he wasn't digging. You was stood next to him when he swept away that area with a stick, not a shovel, a stick. So
Because
it's
he
now it
pointed
is.
out as well
Yeah,
that he felt that it was an area of concern that he just wanted to look at, because the ground had been moved around a bit, hadn't it?
yeah. You know,
So he wanted to just take a closer look, which is what he is trained to do.
yeah. He's trained to
That's the
do all of
difference
that.
between Peter as a skilled you know person who does search and recovery, and me, for instance. I wouldn't look at that, but Peter's trained to look at that and think there might be something in that, and he's just gone and explored it. He
Yes,
hasn't
because
done
as
any
far as
harm.
he's been told, that target in the river was negative. There was nothing there. So if he's going to see some ground disturbed with his experience and everything like that, he's going to check it out. It wasn't a crime scene, so he could do it. And
Yeah,
they actually told
that
him
was
to
well
fit it
put
back
as
in.
well.
That's what I don't get. They actually told him to fit it back in. So if any of you are watching this, we know you watch it. Um, we're asking you, please just speak up now. He come there to look for your friend. He actually did find her, but he couldn't say nothing. Now is your time to speak up. Help clear his name.
Because he's just getting so much flack about it, and I always ask, when I'm assessing a person's behaviour, it's about how their intentions are. And he went in there with the best of intentions to try and help a situation where the clock was ticking on, nothing was happening. We could see Nikki, there was no sign of Nikki. Her family was suffering, her kids were suffering, and he made that call to go and help the family, and he was asked to go and help the family as well. More to
Yeah,
it, So just, if someone's going to do you a favour like that, the least you can do is just tell the truth.
yeah. I've just got one thing I would like to say to, the family and the friends. You know, when you're laying there at night and you're trying to go to sleep, think about it. Think about all these people out here, all of us included, know something's not right about this case. The police, they have let Nikki down, let her down in the most worst possible way. They left her there for 12
Multiple
extra days.
levels, that it's done it in
Yeah,
so many different ways.
because they wanted their narrative to be right. You see how they treated Peter. You see that with your own eyes. No one needs to tell you that. You know, I know everyone wants to just grieve. We get that. And you want to be left to grieve. That will happen when the truth is out. So do it. Contact Peter. See these images. Ask yourself, why did the police not show us the enhanced images?
Oh,
Ask yourself.
Funky's right there as well. Non-disclosure agreements never last forever as well. That is so true, because I think the longest one I've ever signed was 5-year one. So sometimes they're only like 2 or 3 years. It depends on the nature of it. But yeah, they always have an end state.
Yeah. You know, if the family don't want to see this image, if a friend contacts Peter, I am pretty sure he would show you that image. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he would make that effort to come up and see you and show you that image himself.
Oh, 100%. He would do that, wouldn't he? He's got, I think if the family were like, look, show us the image, explain to us what we're looking at. He's a decent guy. He would do that. He's got enough time for the family to go and do that for sure.
Yeah. You know, he wants the truth for you. He would not come out and say all of this and put his business, his reputation with the police at risk. He wouldn't do it. You know, he wouldn't
That's
come
it.
out and say, I can say that this image is of Nicola. He wouldn't come out and do that. Why would he do that? What? He's got more to lose by doing that than keeping quiet. Think about it.
Yeah.
I'm just going
And
to put
and, and the main thing is he didn't know he actually, how he trusted his work colleagues, didn't he? As in the police, to do their job properly. And then it only came out when he was preparing for the coroner's inquest, and then he looked over the stuff that he had, and then he realised he was sat on it. So this is why he's come out now. Well, he's come out now because he's allowed to come out now about it. But he didn't know he had that when he was making he made other remarks to the press about not being in the river, because that's what he was truly believed, because that's what he was told by the police who he entrusted.
Yeah. And again, another thing to think about. I've got it all covered. Why did the coroner ignore Peter? When he sent those images to the coroner, why did the coroner not meet with him? You've just got to ask yourself all these questions, and it will always point back to the same answer. So
yeah, because that's so dodgy as well, isn't it? It's like, he's actually sent the coroner that information, so the coroner's been aware of this information all this time as well.
Yep.
And he made that decision not to include Peter's evidence in the
recorded
inquest.
delivery as well. Well, yeah, he did the Silver Moon, you're right. Recorded delivery.
So he definitely got hold of it.
Yeah. Him coming out with all of this, he wouldn't come out with it if he didn't have the proof.
Yeah.
He knows that would finish him if he was lying that way. And why would he do that? Just think about it. That's all I ask, is think about it. And one inkling of you that questions it, just speak to Peter.
And NDAs, I don't think cost any money. Like, we used to do bilateral NDAs because we had technology that we were protecting, and when we'd go and talk to another company about their technology, and it's only a legality agreement, but it's obviously in order for you two companies to do business where you're exposing information that's secret, or you don't want it to be leaked to competitors or to the public, or into the newspapers. They generally don't cost that much to draw up, but it's after, if somebody breaks an NDA, that's where the money comes in, because then you end up having to take action to sue a person, and to follow through with the legality of it that way. But you can have it like one way, where it's just like I would sign it, because I'm privy to some information shown by a client, or if I've shown one of our clients some of our information, our R&D information, we'd make it bilateral. So it would mean that it would cover us both, which tends to be the favoured way.
Yeah,
So
you know
it's
how Nikki ended up in the water. I don't think we're ever going to find that out. Not
yeah,
unless,
Peter was saying that
yeah,
he can't ever not unless somebody knows, and
yeah,
a
someone
witness
knows and owns
comes
up. That's the
forward.
only way we're ever going to find out. But the fact that the police have majorly screwed up on this case, they've let them down. You know, that's if we can get that, that's justice enough for me at the moment because they can't get away with it. It's just not good. So yeah, that was my little. I've been wanting to get that out since we started, but I've been trying to hold it in.
But it's the whole situation though is just shocking. In this day and age, police should be telling the truth. Police want the public to believe them as an institution,
Yep.
and the way they're behaving over cases such as Nicola Bulley's case, is there any wonder why people have got this inherent, disbelief of the police, and
Yeah,
distrust of them? It's just, they gave out all Nikki's private, medical information and stuff.
yeah.
There's
Don't get me
no
started on
excuse
that.
in any of it.
That they've not even apologised for that. They've not
They
even
haven't
apologised.
formally, have they?
No.
They've come out in a report and said, "Oh, we shouldn't have done that," but they've never
But it
actually
wasn't against the
apologised.
law. We shouldn't have done that, but it's still not against the law of doing it. It's not. It's not about what's right and what's against the law. It's not right.
It's about what's decent.
Yeah. Imagine if she was still alive and she heard that. Do you really think she would have come back? I wouldn't.
Well, yeah, that at the end of the day, that she's going to be thinking, oh, everyone's thinking I'm an alcoholic, crazy person, and and it's all out there, and everyone,
Yeah.
has heard this, and who's going to believe me? And it might, if she was feeling low, it could swing it for her.
And then look what everyone was doing after that information come out. What they was calling her. They was calling her a bad mum.
Oh, she's shocking.
They tarnished her when they done that.
And then the lies that were coming out, as there was people, again, saying that, claiming that other information got leaked, specifying other illnesses that Nikki
we
had.
won't go into that, but
Yeah, well, that was untrue as well.
Yep.
It's just shocking.
That's the horrible thing, and she wasn't there to defend herself. And
no, that's it.
They can't hold their hands up and say, "Yeah, we was wrong. We're sorry. We shouldn't have done that." And King, right. Blood on the skin. It got missed. So in the inquest, the sound wasn't the clearest. Okay, so all the press that was in the press room, they was listening to the inquest. Okay. And they was complaining about the sound. They couldn't hear properly. So when it got said that she had a mud-stained chin, they heard it as blood-stained chin. She did not have a blood-stained chin. We can categorically say that. Okay.
Yeah.
It was.
It's a northern accent, isn't it? It's blood and mud sounds said the same way in a northern accent. And the lady who was speaking from
that was the
Home Office
pathologist,
pathologist. That's it. But she was a northern lady, and that just got misheard.
Yeah. So we've been trying to get it out there. It was not blood-stained chin. It was mud-stained chin. Okay, so there was no blood on her chin at all. It was just
that's
mud.
it. And then one of the questions yesterday with Peter was asking about the blood.
You probably see us in chat.
So we've gone over this so many times. It's not blood,
Block him.
blood and mud.
The best I could be, you're being blocked.
It's not
We're not
bloody mud.
monetized. We're not here to get money. So goodbye. Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
Well, someone's saying we're here to get money.
Yeah, we're money grabbing. We're not even monetized. We're not even at the point of getting monetized. So
yeah,
get your facts right, mates.
Yeah.
And we're
Actually,
not.
love, it's cost us a lot more than we've ever earned out of this.
Yeah.
A lot of money, if we've paid out, all in all. That we've traveling and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, it's crazy what people.
oh, good old troll, isn't it? Thinks they know it all.
Yeah. So, yeah, back to it. We don't normally react to those comments, but I'm not being accused of being money grabbing when we're not even monetized. We're not even big enough to be monetized.
It's just, oh, you just
yeah.
it's not the wrong channel there. It's not us. At the end of the day, it's we're just trying to get down to the truth, and we've had to pay to like traveling expenses, going to see things for ourselves and to get the right information because we want to get the facts on the table. It's not even about the channel, it's about our confidence in what we're saying, because we want to come to you guys and know in our own minds that we are 100% right. Do you know if that makes sense to people? We don't, I want to know for sure that I'm confident in what I'm saying, and it's so important that the truth gets out there, because there's just been so much bullshit being spread around by people who just won't get their feet dirty, they won't go anywhere, they won't go on scene, they're quite happy to monetize the channels and talk about the case. We actually have been to the site. We've got, we've been all over, haven't we?
We've literally travelled up there. We stayed up there. We spent a lot.
You've seen pictures of the girls with Peter Faulding and his team. That they were taken very earlier on, months ago, weren't they?
Yeah, sorry, I was just having a drink. Dry mouth, talking too much.
Peter Faulding pictures were there, and we've just got respect going with Peter, that I like to watch what he's up to, because this isn't his only case that he's working on, and I like to see what else he's up to.
Yeah, thanks.
Respect him.
I'm one of these people, like I find it interesting what Peter and his team do, because it's like, it's one of those things that you would never experience unless you do it. So like diving down into the river and just diving and seeing what it's like underneath, you would never know unless you do it. And I would do it because I'm like,
I can't dive even though I can swim. I'll swim in a river, but I can't dive because I can't breathe underwater. I can't cope with putting a mask on under the water.
If there was a chance of me to go in the river, I'd probably have to have about 20 ropes around me with 20 people holding these ropes, so I know I can get up. But yeah, it's one of those things. It fascinates me what they do. Not in a it's just I'm in awe of what they do, because they do even the police divers. I'm not saying all police divers are the same. Even, any job that those guys do, it's an amazing job. And it's not an easy job. So
they actually have to have a lot of recovery time after a dive as well, because especially where there's just where they're actually diving like quite deep into the water, and the effect that has on your brain and just different systems within your body. They might do a dive that's maybe 2 hours, and then they might have to sit out of work, not be able to do another dive for the rest of the week after that, because they've got to recover from that fully, because they can face potential brain damage and lots, due to the pressure that their body's under doing that job. These divers, the police divers, they do have to, they do get called out to go and do recoveries in the sea. My friends, her dad used to go out and do. They went, and then they were in the sea, and it was a whirlpool, and two of them got trapped, and then two of them managed to escape, and the two that got trapped died, and so that was, the police divers had to go and dive for those remains, and then my friend's dad had survivor guilt after it as well. But that would have been a severe dive for the police recovery team, because they were going into that, and that was high risk recovery.
That's the thing. Even stuff like that, you just can't even imagine what it's like unless you've been in that situation.
Yeah, it's just shocking. It really is. And because it affects your brain. The high pressure that you get when you go down. We all saw what happened to Titan, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that's just an example. And you're talking about human beings going down there in just a suit as well. Whether they usually have got different. They've got the seats, the sea suits, sea diving suits.
It's the
which are
equipment that
different.
they've got is so heavy as well. It's like when I was talking to Eddie the other day. Do you remember when you was at school and you done the swimming? And you had to jump in like your PJs or something. I don't know if everyone in chat.
In your pajamas. Yeah.
Did you all do that? And even jumping in like your pajamas and stuff like that, how much heavier that felt than jumping in with your swimming costume on, or your trunks and stuff like that. It was the difference between jumping in like a costume and jumping in with your PJs on. How much different, like the water around you felt, and like you could feel straight away that these clothes are soaking up water.
Yeah, denim's apparently the worst thing.
Yeah, so that's
to
what
try
I'm saying.
and swim.
So if you remember that and how that felt, imagine falling into water with fully clothed in winter gear. How much that's going to drag you down as well.
That's why if ever anyone does fall in, just literally your coat's not going to do you any good in terms of insulating you. Just strip everything off as much as you can do. You're better off just being in a thin t-shirt and getting yourself safely and being able to try and swim.
Yeah, so your head's so your ears are in the water as well, and try and relax.
Yeah, that's it. Roll on your back, isn't it? Keep your breath, keep your lungs full of air, because that again helps you to float as well.
Yeah, a lot of love.
I don't think enough is done. Not many people know what to do. When they actually fall in the river. That a lot of it is shock.
Yeah.
And then it's a bit like first aiders as well. If doing a little bit of first aid training helps you pre-plan if you do ever find a person in a supermarket, or if your child gets poorly, breaks an arm, and just learn what to do and how to deal with that when you're not in that emergency situation.
You it's like adrenaline takes over, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a big thing, is it? You've got the adrenaline, because this that someone was saying that cold water shock. Yeah, sometimes you would get cold water shock, but sometimes you get the adrenaline would overcome it. That you fight for life would be that strong that you wouldn't actually notice that you were cold.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'd actually just, fight for your life, and then you'd get yourself safe, and then go, oh, I'm cold now. And
A
it's
lot of
just
love
your
for
pure
Shelley.
adrenaline that's keeping you
Hope
going.
that's helping Shelley a little bit. Being with people that support you. She lost her dog, bless her.
Oh, it's horrible, isn't it? When
Yeah.
your dogs are like your family, at the end of the day. Yeah, I've got 2 dogs and a cat, and they're like my kids
Yeah.
when the kids go to school.
Has anyone else in chat feel that there was any questions that you wanted answered or felt that should be asked last night? Yeah, it'd be good to know if there's anything that you feel that should have been asked and wasn't, or didn't get a chance to get asked. Someone in chat might know, or we might know. But yeah, if you've got anything that you feel could have been asked, or you're still thinking, but or some,
Yeah,
some of the questions last night.
I hope that Peter does another one. Because what I'd like to learn now is what the police's response to all this is.
Yeah. One thing I did like last night is the fact that Peter's not going to give up. And
Yeah.
it's going to be sent to the Home Office and the Prime Minister.
Yes.
Yeah, why won't the family talk? That's one thing, David. I just can't get my head around that. I don't want to start again because I did start a minute ago, but I can't get, if that was me personally, I know her mum and dad are absolutely broken. No one can even begin to imagine what it feels like to lose.
It doesn't necessarily have to be a mum or a dad, though. There's lots
like
of people
sister,
in the area saw Peter when he was up.
Yeah, so yeah, I do understand that her mum and dad are absolutely broken, and it's not easy for them.
Yeah, it'll take them a while to get their head around.
Someone needs to talk up. Someone needs to stand up. They really
do. Yeah, they just, if they think of it this way, if they've put themselves out for someone and they've ended up facing some bad repercussions because of it, would they expect, or not expect, hope that person would stick up for them?
Yeah.
If they were in a similar situation. Yeah, because I was in a similar. I used to be a team leader in work, and I asked a colleague to do something for me. I was team leader, and I asked to do a job, and we had a Scrum methodology. So it was like we'd have a meeting in the morning, and I asked her, "Can you do this?" And she'd done it before. It was just running her up, but she said she would do it. And then the following day in our Scrum meeting, I said, "Did you do it?" She said, "Yeah." And then I go now have a meeting, our midweek meeting, and I'm looking for this document and I can't find it. And I'm like, she said she's done it. And I asked her definitely asked her to do it because I wrote it on my sheet, and I definitely confirmed that she'd done it, and she said she had done. And but she hadn't done it, and it's like that trust that you put in, a colleague. When you ask them, have you done it? Yeah, I've done it. And I was like, I was in the meeting with all the other managers and all the other team leaders, and we were having our midweek meeting, and I was mortified, you know, and I'm like, I'm the only one that didn't have this document, and I'm trying not to get her in trouble as well, you know. So I'm saying to my manager, just going, just leave it with us, you know. And I had to go out the room, and I had to go and ask her, and I said, have you done it? You know, it's a few years ago, and we used to save things on the computer, and we also printed off a paper copy. I thought maybe she's printed off the paper copy and not saved it in the right place on the computer. But anyway, I managed to get her in the end. She was, and I asked her, you know, where is it? Or didn't do it, and and I was just like, oh. So things like that can happen in layman's, you know, days as well. You know, I worked in banking and finance in that job, and it's so frustrating. And you know, Peter, obviously his role in search and recovery is like literally life and death, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, he's trusted a colleague at their word for saying that they have done that job, and they clearly haven't done it properly. And I totally get that. You know, and I remember how stressed out I was, and it was only a blowing silly bit of paper, you know, and I just ended up doing it myself in half an hour. I just did it. You know, I was being told that I had to delegate and you know, give tasks out to people within the team who wanted to work their way up in the company and stuff. It was a big national bank, and you know, and I knew that I'd definitely been told that it'd been done, but you don't. Then that's probably how Peter's been felt. You know.
Bridget, yeah, all right. Peter, even though he didn't sign an NDA, he did get asked not to say anything until the College of Policing report come out, which he agreed not to do, because at that time he didn't know that they was going to be slating him. And yeah, so he agreed to do that. And then as soon as he got told about the College of Policing report, and he went, and they just said, they was just basically asking questions about his contact and talking to the press. It was nothing about his search. So that's why, you know, they asked him, and he obliged and said, I won't do that.
Yeah, but no, the police didn't even ask Peter, "Oi, mate, stop talking to the press." No, they didn't even just have that simple little conversation with him. Stop, you know.
Yeah.
If that would have just been a really simple and effective way of resolving the situation. You know, quit speaking to the press about this. You know, we've got our own procedure. You know, that's all that needed to be said. A bit of just simple communication, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just looking at the questions that are coming through. Kelly, I do know that the family have not been in contact with Peter since he left the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tricky one, and I do believe that the police have narrative. You know, they basically put their 2 pence in, so to speak, and like everyone, you brought up to trust the police. But I just hope now that they open their eyes and realise that the police have not done a good job, and they have let Nikki down, and let the family down at the same time. You know, you look at it in both sense. They've let the family down at exactly the same time, because they haven't given the service, so to speak.
It's so sad, isn't it, for the whole family? Because like, it's a family that always come first on my mind, because if those two little girls have lost their mum. You know,
it's coming. You know, it's
it's first Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah, so you might
find anniversary.
You might find at the moment that they're just, you know, aiming like to each week by each week because they know that Christmas is coming up, they know New Year's coming up, they know that anniversary is coming up. So maybe once they've worked through all of these steps, then they will start realizing things. Yeah, no one knows what goes through someone's head when they're dealing with this. But I just like to think at the moment you've got 3 big events coming up. They've done her birthday, so now it's Christmas, New Year, and the anniversary. Maybe after that they start.
Yeah,
Feeling
yeah.
a bit
I
stronger.
know when I lost my partner, my kid's dad. It took a couple of years really till I could talk about it properly. I
You
had
know,
to
not saying that they'll ever get over it, but hopefully, you know, they
well,
start.
I had to learn a way of talking about it where
Yeah,
when I'm talking about it, I have to go into a frame of mind where I'm not I'm not in the first party. I talk about it. I found a way to describe things, but I'm talking about it not in the first party, because when I do that, that I couldn't. That was what used to break me every time, and
yeah,
that was part of having like basically some cognitive behavioural therapy, which I'm hoping Nikki's mum and dad and Paul and the kids are all getting,
yeah,
because my kids had it, and it's really, really, you need to have an understanding of how you're feeling in a certain way. And they might not be able to talk about, maybe it might be the good things that happened, the happy memories,
yeah,
might just not, they can't talk about those because they're too hard to bear.
yeah.
You might
What
be able to talk about what's happened to the mum,
Yeah, what Kelly's just
but
said,
they
it's
can't
still
bear to
early
talk about
days. It's still
yeah,
very early days for the grieving.
really early days.
Yeah, but
They say that the year of firsts is everything, and people say, "Oh, time makes it easy." But I remember thinking after, even like a couple of years after, thinking it doesn't feel like a hell of a lot better for me.
it,
Um,
it's you never get over it, but you just learn to deal
you
with
do,
it
yeah, you
better.
learn coping
Yeah,
mechanisms. And part of your coping mechanism is not to block it off 100%. Because how you're feeling when you're bereaved is natural.
yep.
And if you're trying to say stop thinking about it, if you tell your body not to think about something, you'll think about it.
Oh yeah, I know that
You
from
know, if you can't switch your mind off.
no.
It doesn't work like
Always
that.
when I go to bed.
Yeah. Oh, guarantee going to
Yeah.
bedtime, isn't it? And then you're lying there and
It's when
oh,
all my bright ideas come up is when I'm trying to go to sleep. It's a nightmare. Bad Fairy,
oh,
yeah, the girls. I think the girls will, in time, will start to ask questions, and um,
yeah.
you know, it could be that it will be the girls that will start pushing for stuff when they're older, because at the moment they are still, they're young. It'll be when they hit their teenagers
It's
years.
crazy how fast they grow up though, because like
Yeah,
when my girls lost their dads, they were 9 and 10, and now they're both teenagers now, and then in a couple of years' time they'll be leaving school, they'll be school leavers, and they grow up fast, and it's really that they've had some counselling, but I've got further counselling on hold for when they need it.
yeah, because
Because
it could um, you know appear at any time, really, couldn't it? Like now they could be um, dealing with things in their own way, but you don't know
yeah,
whether 10 years down the line, I've had stuff come up from my childhood that I'm dealing with now. Uh,
yeah,
like
things
25,
can
30
just
years later, I'm starting to deal with it. it could just rear its horrible head at any point, can't it?
It can just crop up any time, and I've got the plannings there. I've got the school are amazing. We've got a procedure, we've got backup, and we've got a plan. Because I don't want to bombard my kids with having too much therapy and stuff like that, because I think that can be bad as well, because sometimes they need to do it in their own time, in their own way.
Yeah, exactly, Kelly. And this is why us personally here stick to the facts, and we don't accuse any family members. We don't speculate with what happened. Um, we're sticking with the facts and what Lancashire police have failed on. Because they're going to be able
The
to
fact is, the police should know better. It's the police's job. The family are just being a family at the end of the day, and they've never been in this situation before, and I hope to God they never will be again. I don't know any other families who've gone through what they've gone through. They've been in a horrible situation.
Yeah.
And
to deal with what they've had to deal with, like the accusations, not even the family, like Emma as well. She's had to deal with.
I was like,
Louise has been accused of stuff, and it's just
all the friends.
Yeah, so it's like that's why we stay away from all of that, and we like to get the truth out there of what we know. We stick to the facts. So,
just if the facts are out there, you can navigate around and you can find the truth. But it's when it's all people's theories and it's misleading, that's where the problem's been.
Yeah.
And that's what's the most hurtful part, because you're dealing, the family are fighting against something which isn't factual. It's made up in somebody's head.
Yeah, no one's dealt with this before, have they? Like, no one's had this publicity. I know the McCanns and stuff like that, but Nikki's a bit older. There's no manual out there of how to cope with this and all the accusations that have gone around. And the police didn't help with that either, did they? Really, it's the police's fault that the accusations like that have started.
Yeah, because the police should know better, because they, have dealt with other missing persons. I hate that word, mispair. They call it a mispair, don't they? At the end of the day, that's a real life person who's gone missing, and the family who are bereaved. And the police should have dealt with enough cases in the long history of the police force that they should have dealt with things more effectively. They should have had more procedures in place with dealing with the press. And even though social media is a relatively new thing, they've had a good 15 years. It's been around for a good 15 years.
Yeah.
It's not a brand new thing. That they need to have, meetings and decide what they're going to do if things do get out of hand, and they will get out of hand again.
Yeah, but the thing
they
is,
will. It will happen again.
It's not something that's just started happening. It's been happening through the whole of life. People go missing. And
in America,
they should know better.
Well, in the States now, they've started publicising a lot of high-profile criminal cases, and court cases.
Exactly.
Gwyneth Paltrow's skiing accident was in court on telly. Gabby Petito's case has been up in the news again recently. And I actually think that's a really good thing. in the States where they are actually being a bit more open and honest about the inquest and what the police did and what the police did to resolve a case.
Yeah.
Because it shows that what they're doing, and they're not just going with the flow. They're not listening to hearsay. We don't know what information individuals have gone and told the police, Lancashire Police, about this case.
Yeah.
They could be sitting on God knows what information.
Exactly.
And there could have been a person that's gone over and heard something, and they might have gone and reported it, and then they've just been ignored.
Yeah.
And
we aren't the enemies here. And we're here to help, and I just hope they see that.
yeah,
I really do.
I think for me it was because I'd lost my kids' other parent myself, and I think you realise how tragic that is, and you want to make sure that your kids they have to understand what happens.
Yeah.
They have to. They can't.
And it's the only way they're going to get closure.
Yeah.
They're never going to get over it, but then there's closure.
Like the closure's the big
not.
The big word I was looking for then, closure. My kids know what happens, and they saw that they witnessed a lot of it with their own eyes. They're certainly the same as what I did. That they've got closure in that respect. But Nikki's kids, that they literally just went to school one day with their mum and never saw her again.
That upsets me. That does.
And that for them as kids to get their head around that, wow. So it's for them that I do what I do. It's for the kids to get the closure that they need to equip them so that they can go on and have some element of understanding, make this make sense somehow.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't make sense.
That it really does. That just it turns my stomach when I think of that. It really does. My heart breaks. It really does for them.
As a parent, it's our worst nightmare, isn't it?
Yeah.
To think that would ever happen.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. I was late picking my kids up the other day, and I felt like the worst mum in the world, because it was poorly, and I was really, really not very well. And then the second day I had to send my mum, and she had to go and pick the kids up from school. But that's to have never see them again. For them to never see their mum again, that's just awful. It's just I've never comprehended that. I've never had to deal with anything like that. I don't know anyone else that's had to deal with that.
No, I don't.
Even if it, parents have lost their life, through illness, they would have had a bit of warning, but just to be there 1 minute and gone the next is awful.
Yeah, it does. Breaks my heart. Like, even to think about that happening to like our two. It just.
No.
But yeah.
But I think that's what motivated Peter to get involved. Because Peter's got a heart.
Yeah, we do have a sonar image that we want to show people. Again, just to see what Peter sees.
Oh, yeah. Is that one that we were looking at the other day?
No, this is actually out of his book, this one.
Oh.
So yeah, it's just to give you an
Sorry if
idea.
it's depressed everyone, guys, but I
Yeah.
just like I just want to speak it out for how I see it, to be honest with you, because it's
Well, the thing is like I think we've all kind of thought along those lines ourselves. You know, especially with Christmas coming up. Um, you know, those girls are constantly on my mind of
yeah,
how they're
and
feeling. So
it's a raw emotional thing, and this is why Peter did what he did and was like, I will come and help you for free. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to try and help you.
yeah,
And that's why he did it. And it's to just try and give that family a little bit of support and help and some answers that they really, really needed
yeah.
at that moment.
So this is the drowning victim in Peter's book. Okay,
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can see the riverbed, and you can clearly see the target.
Because
So you
that's
can't
in a
mistake that,
fetal
can
position,
you?
isn't it? The legs are bent.
Yeah. Um, so like that, you know, if you was looking at that image and seeing the riverbed actually looks quite clear here as well, which Lancashire, the River Wire did as well. I don't know what she's doing. She's listening. So yeah, you could see that that's the body, can't you? Does everyone agree with that? Looking at that
Yeah,
image,
it's and it is clear, isn't it? You can see what
yeah,
Peter means when it says crystal clear as well.
yeah. So I don't know. For me, I believe him. Like I said, he wouldn't come out and risk his career and everything on a lie. So, but yeah, we're at 2 hours, so I think that probably call it a night because it's 11:45. So the big announcement that we have to make,
Oh yeah.
um, we have actually got our hands on the inquest. We can't
As in,
obviously, yeah, we can't obviously share any of the audio, but we're going through it. So this is how we know that everything we're sharing with you guys from the inquest it is actual fact.
because we were like double and triple checking things. You know, if we're not sure if there's any doubts about anything, we'll go back to that and we'll listen and um make sure that what we're putting out there is 100% correct.
Yeah. So we've had to pay a lot of money for it.
Yeah.
We have had to sign a bit of paper or form to say that we will not share it, which we
So
obviously we
before any
can't.
other channels ask us, we're not being pedantic or anything. We cannot share it. We're really, really sorry. We'll get into trouble with the coroner ourselves we if we in any way publicise it
Yeah,
or
which we
you know
wouldn't do.
which
But
we wouldn't. But we can certainly clarify
yeah,
points.
so if
Um,
anyone has any inquest or anything to do with the inquest that you're not 100% sure on or you want clarified, we can do that.
And I think what we were talking about doing was actually um going through the coroner's inquest again in a
Yeah,
bit more detail.
that would be the
Um,
next live. Yeah,
if that's it, is everyone interested in doing that? So this, you know, because like last time we did it, we were just basing the information on memory and facts and some written notes.
yeah,
Um, and this time we've got an aide helping us recall.
yeah.
I think is the best place to
Yeah, we're
put it.
going to do a live on it next time, Zara. Um, Obviously, we can't play the audio or anything, but
Yeah,
we can go through it. We can go through any discrepancies or anything like that. But like we said, when this is why we're trying to get out there that it wasn't blood-stained chin, it was mud. It was mud. Got that the right way.
Yeah.
You know, we've heard it. It's
So
definitely not blood.
if there's anyone else got any other questions like the blood mud question that they want elaborating, let us know in comments. Any questions that, you know, if you've heard any conflicting points, and we will make a, you know, we'll go and find that information out ahead of the next live that we do.
And for anyone that doesn't believe that we've got it, we've actually got receipts that we have this. So, you know, us, we wouldn't lie to you guys. So our email address is up on the screen. So if you've got any questions that you would like to clarify, drop us an email and we can go through that in the next live. But yeah.
Because obviously one of our team members went to the inquest and in person, and we've had to basically sign a load of you know, details with the coroner that we won't disclose the audio, and that any information that we give out, you know, we're allowed to talk about it. We're not restricted in talking about it, but you know, we're not allowed to send the audio to anyone else. That's a definite no. And any information that is typed up, we need to state, you know, it's not factual as well. Anything that any how did he word it?
Sorry, I'm just writing down a question.
He worded it. It was basically any way that it's written down.
It's like a transcribe.
We can't sell it as being a factual transcribe of what's happened.
So it can't
be.
Know,
so we won't do that
either. Lie. I don't think that's in there, Bad Fairy. We can answer that.
Why
did the police dive alive?
Oh my god!
But yeah,
when you see it all written like down, and you know, we'll go through it all, you know, because we can talk about it verbally, you know, when you actually hear, you know, how he describes things, you know, in what we can paraphrase, can't we?
Yeah. So, and you know, I have written your question down, so we can go over that.
But if you've got any questions, or like, because there is a lot of information, like the blood mud on chin thing that's gone out there, that, you know, it's confusing people. So just let us know in the comments, and we will ahead of time's good, because it gives us a chance to look it up before we go live next.
Yeah, but yeah, we've been going through it. It did take quite a while, and obviously we had to listen to PC Thackeray again, and sends your blood going. But yeah, we obviously paid a lot of money for it, and we wanted to get that because we just want you guys to have the facts. So if there's any questions, we can go through it for you. So yeah,
it just helps us that if you tell us ahead, we can look, you know, we'll specifically go and search for that information so that we've got it handy, and then we can compile a list of our own questions and answers, I suppose, from that element of things.
Yeah,
from the coroner's inquest, because obviously the press were all in one office and they couldn't hear. They were literally having terrible technological issues. Now we wouldn't know what it's like to have them, would we?
No, it's like we was watching. I was watching Mark William Thomas's live feed as well, and when he put out, it was she had blood-stained chin. I was like, what? How could she have blood-stained chin when she's been in the water for 3 weeks? And now we know it was mud, and we've
Yeah,
confirmed that. So, that's why we're literally like, no, it wasn't blood, it was mud. We've heard it. So, yeah, just wanted to let you all know, and we can go through it, and that everything we are giving you guys is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
absolutely. Yeah,
So, yeah,
I know.
but
I,
thank
th- I think
you.
it's really good for we're probably doing it that the police and the coroner a little job,
Yeah,
by going through it and you know um correcting all the myths and
yeah, and the
um,
speculations and stuff like that.
speculation. Yeah, because there's a lot of it out there regarding it. So
Yeah.
um, but yeah. So is there anything else that anyone wants to go through tonight as well before we go? Anyone got any questions?
Yeah, it's been quite busy in chat tonight. It's been quite nice to have you all
It's
here.
nice
So
to
thank
see
you
everyone.
all for joining us.
Oh,
I
do you know
hope
what's
you
damn nice
enjoy
as
it.
well? And can I just say it's damn nice in Luke's break the ice interview yesterday, because there was a lot of you guys popped up in chat and were saying hiya to us as well. That was really, really nice. Seeing some
Kelly,
familiar
why did Penny
faces.
not have to attend in person?
Yeah, she
Yeah, I don't
visualised it. We still heard
know
her.
the full truth of that, so I can't really comment on that. I have heard that she was poorly.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's usually health related.
Yeah,
I sometimes the if you've given a statement ahead of time, it's not uncommon for them to read it out. If you're absent, say if you've got other, like for instance, when it was my
right, Chris.
partner's
Thanks for
inquest, and the
joining us.
ambulance crew gave a statement, and they didn't want to take time out of off the ambulances to come to an inquest, so they wrote the statement, and it just got read up
Yeah.
in the
Kelly, the
coroner's inquest.
gash that was on Nicola's nose, that was caused by post-mortem. I can say that because I remember that one. Um, yeah, that was a post-mortem injury.
So yeah, the post-mortem, and it
So,
went from the bridge of a nose over towards her eye, wasn't it?
yeah, David, agree.
With no broken bones.
No broken bones. Oh, that's one thing I did want to bring up quickly. But you saying about the broken bones, something Peter said last night. Drowning victims do not tend to have injuries.
Yes, yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you because when we do our live next with the inquest, I will go through what they found on her body.
yeah. That was really interesting. Yeah, because he said obviously if they go and they have a big fall, like say they come off a high suspension bridge or something,
Yep.
they might have but falling off the side of a river into a river, you wouldn't expect to see any injuries.
Yeah, so just bear that and keep that in your mind for the next live, okay?
Yeah.
Drowning victims do not tend to have injuries. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so it went that injury, Shelley, it went from a nose, and then it went just across to her eye.
Yeah.
It was just it was
Yeah.
a
Post mortem.
skin
Yeah.
lesion type.
Which was caused by post mortem injury.
So it happens after she'd passed, and it was probably made worse by being in water
Hmm. And how they
as
dragged her
well.
up the bank.
Yeah.
So yeah. So Kenny, glad you caught alive as well. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. It's midnight.
Yes. Oh, it's midnight.
Super chapter. But yeah, thank you all for
Yeah.
joining us. I hope you enjoyed the live.
So, can I just do one last thing
Yep.
before I go? Like, see if you prefer, if you're going to do a Scouse accent, like, you do it properly, right? You don't do Manchester. You're not Liam Gallagher. If you want to say you're from Liverpool, do it properly. I'm winding him up, by the way. That's what but he was doing it the other day and he's taking a piss out of my accent as well. He read my post with a Scouse accent.
I can't do accents, so I'll just stick with my normal Southern
I'm
language.
actually Scottish. I'm good at Scouse for a Scottish person, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, I used to live in between Manchester and Liverpool. And we used to like 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps.
Oh, I love that program. Yeah.
That's
How
where
many meters away from the
spent formative years. So my accent's a little bit mad. It's a bit Scouse and a bit Manchester. But yeah, you made me laugh reading it out like that. So I just have to correct.
Bridget, we're just going to measure that for you. Give us a minute. To my knowledge, there was nothing about the water. There was no tests of the water that was found in her lungs or her stomach.
Yeah, they didn't. From what they said in the inquest, they didn't do any microbial testing, did they?
No.
Well, they didn't mention any microbial testing, which surprised me.
Shocking. Yeah, well, I found that quite shocking, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think if it put down any questions you've got, and like that, like if you want to reiterate, it'll remind us.
Are you from
again,
Australia, Kelly? Oh, it's midnight here.
Oh, I want to go to Australia.
I know.
I really, especially this time because it's summer over there, isn't it?
Yeah, I have family.
Do you have your Christmas dinner cooked on the barbecue? The turkey on the barbecue.
They can tell probably above the Weir-Bad ferry because that's non-tidal, but below, because the water below the Weir is tidal, I think that you could probably tell whether it probably would have had a bit of seawater in it. Kelly, all my accents sound Indian Irish. I'm hopeless. That's exactly me. All my accents sound Indian.
I've probably put the way I'm gonna have to apologise now to any real Scousers out there. I'm what they call a woolly back. A woolly back's the person who is not really from Liverpool but has got a bit of a Scouse accent. So apologies to any real Scousers.
Is that Bridget, is that allotment lane you're wondering about? Sorry, we're just going to measure it for you. Because allotment lane is the lane that runs next to the caravan park. Are you still here, Bridget? Please be here. We actually did measure that.
David Williams, yeah, the screams.
Remember that? We measured and it was the same distance from the bench.
We'll go through the screen.
Allotment lane. And it was the same distance from the bench to the tennis club car park, wasn't it? So it was 201.64 meters. Yeah, that's it, Bridget. So yeah, it's 201. Well, you might as well just say 201 meters. And that's from the bench to allotment lane.
Bridget, I think Ron Roger was thought that Nikki was using the toilet in the caravan park because apparently some people, when they're out for a walk, could just use the loos at the caravan park, at Penny's caravan park.
Yeah. So I hope that's answered it for you, Bridget.
They don't want to let us
Huh? No, they don't, do they? There was put inside also the 2 screams heard at 9:30 that day, plus the injuries. I'm not sure if it was exactly 9:30. I think it was probably a bit later than that, but we can go through that. I will write that down, David, so I don't forget that. It prepared paper.
You're writing some notes down
Yeah,
already. Oh, I'll go through the comments because I know people some people watch it live, some people watch it after the live. So still put it in the comments and I'll check out for any questions
yeah, or
before we go
email
live
us
again.
at our email address. It's
Yeah.
the measurement to the tennis club. Yeah. 327.66 meters from the bench to the tennis club. Which, when you think about it.
No, not from the bench to tennis club.
Huh?
From the tennis club to allotment lane.
Oh, from the tennis club to allotment lane, sorry.
I will check the other.
But yeah, from the bench to the tennis club, you've got to think how that scream has travelled. It's got to travel over through all those trees. Okay. You've got a busy road there, as the police have said. And they still managed to hear that scream. That was loud.
Funky, just Jen, don't forget your tea. You meant tea with the wee? You mean tea?
I know, Gail. No one wants us to go.
Tennis club to bench.
Right, tennis club to the bench was 316 metres away.
Roughly.
That's a long way for a scream to travel. Because when Izzy, what is it? Was it Izzy from Sky News?
Is
Saw,
that the Scottish lady?
no, the Sky
Oh, the
News.
man from
Yeah,
Sky News.
what was his name? It was
Um,
Izzy, something like that, wasn't it? Inzy.
Lindsay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So when Inzy bumped into Roger at the live reconstruction that they'd done, he misheard his name, and it wasn't Roger, Ron. It was Roger, but he called him Ron, even though he had already pre-recorded, like had a off-camera chat with Penny, and she told him it was Roger, and he still called him Ron. So that's why he has 2 names.
Yeah, because he didn't correct him, did he, when he said the wrong name either? It's funny.
Yes, Kelly, we have.
Do
We're not
you reckon
getting
all the
involved in
people in St. Michael's call him by his alias name now as well
that.
for a laugh?
Yeah. You're up, Ron.
I know where I live, that would become your name from now on in.
Yeah,
Got called
Kelly.
something on the telly.
Yeah, it has, but we're not getting involved in that. We're staying out of that. So, but yes, so it's now 10 past midnight. So I think it's time for bed.
Yeah. Oh,
But yeah,
so thanks for joining us.
yes, thank you. I hope you enjoyed tonight. Yeah, Gail's telling us the time. She's like, "Come on, girls, it's 5 past midnight." I hope you like the stream or the podcast tonight.
Oh, I'm
Hope
just so
you,
sorry. I'm like full of cold still. Hopefully next time I come on I'll be better.
yeah. Give us a like if you haven't subscribed. Subscribe to us. And yes, we will be going through the inquest in our next live.
Yeah.
Emails that back up on the screen if you need it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Bridget. Appreciate it.
We also have a Facebook.
Yep, and we've also got True Finders on Facebook if you want to find us on there as well. So, yeah, thank you all. Stay safe, and we shall see you.
Bad Fairy, you could share. Well, you've got lots of nicknames now because you call Good Fairy, Bad Fairy, and Share now.
We won't remember all of them. Right. Good night, everyone.
Yeah, and lovely. Yeah. Sleep well, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Funky.